Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming, and this is the second part in our Last Chance Open videos. So you probably saw Richard's video yesterday when he was covering his Orcs army. So it is now my turn, and I will be taking my Iron Hands. It's not the most competitive list, to be honest. In fact, it's probably not competitive at all. The reason why I've taken this is there has been a few sort of points drops across this list from Chapter Approved 2018, which has enabled me to sort of squeeze in a few extra units than I can usually do in this sort of size list. This is very similar to a list I took to Gibraltar. I think it was the last time we went to Gibraltar, which was about 18 months ago, something like that. It was a Dreadnought heavy list, and it did quite well. It was actually just after 40k 8th edition had been released, so not all the codexes had come out. Eldar being the the one that hadn't been released at that time. So I have decided to sort of try and revisit this list and see if it is still as good or close to as good as it was back then. Back in that tournament, I did actually surprise quite a few people because it has actually got... It's quite an elite force, but it's got quite a lot of high toughness units. It's got a lot of dreadnoughts. It's got vehicles in it. So a lot of units that I came against, a lot of armies that I came against did actually struggle to deal with it, even though it's quite a small model count. So I'm hoping I can surprise people with this list. Last time I went to a tournament was actually the Northwest Open at the same location up in Southport. I did take my Knights. I really enjoy playing Knights, but I didn't actually enjoy it in that tournament setting. So what I found was I won my first 2 games quite convincingly, and then that put me into the sort of the top table scrum, and I played 3 games then against pretty much identical Eldar lists with mortal wound spam, which I had no defence against. And although all my opponents were, you know, really nice guys, just wasn't that fun to play against. So I thought with what I'm taking this time, I'm not expecting to win. I'm not expecting to come in the top half. I think there's 100 competitors in this one, so it's a really large tournament. I just, like Richard, I'm aiming for maybe 2 wins. If I get 2 wins, I'll be happy. If I beat Rich, that's my goal, really. So I've been banging on enough about it, so let's spin the camera around and I'll show you what I've got. Okay guys, so here is my list. As I said, it is an Iron Hands army. It's actually 2 source, so it's made up of a Battalion detachment and also a Spearhead detachment. As you can see, there's a few Forge World models in here as well. So I'll just take you through the list. So my Warlord is my captain that you can see at the front. He has a combi flamer and a power fist, basically because he's the only one I've got. It's what it's modelled with. I know that it's not the most competitive build, but I like the model, so I thought, yeah, I'll just bring this. My next HQ in this battalion is Librarian. I'm bringing him mainly for Might of Heroes. It works really well in conjunction with some of the Dreadnoughts, giving them extra strength and toughness, makes them even harder to kill. And then I can also sort of use things like Null Zone to remove invulnerable saves on my opponents and things like that. So he might be quite useful there. Then my troops, I've just got 3 squads of Tactical Marines, exactly the same. This is probably going to be their swan song. I am probably looking at upgrading to Primaris. They're on the painting table at the moment, so this is probably going to be one of the last times which I'm going to be using these guys, so I thought let's give them a good send-off at the tournament. We're then on to elites. sorry, in the tactical squad there is actually a melter gun in each one of those, and the sergeant that's just completely stock. But going back onto elite, so I have 2 ironclad dreadnoughts, and they are loaded out with the hurricane bolters, ironclad launchers. They've got a melter gun, and they've got the chain fist. So I've dropped the siege drill because the siege drill is -1 to hit, and I think it's a flat 5 damage or something crazy like that. Whereas the chain fist doesn't come with a minus, and I think it's flat 4 damage anyway. So you know it's going to do some work. The ironclad assault launchers are really good because on the charge you get the opportunity to do mortal wounds, so that can be quite useful just to give you that potential extra bit of punch on something that you're charging into. The next of my elites is in the middle at the back with a little radar dish on the top, and I'll explain what that is. So this is a relic Derridio. And it comes with the autocannon batteries. These autocannons are a little bit like the ones that you get on the Helverins. They are, I believe off the top of my head, strength 8, heavy 8, -1, but a flat 3 damage. So again, quite a bit of punch there and quite a lot of rate of fire. And he's also, I believe, off the top of my head, BS2. So he's pretty reliable at shooting, so he could be quite good. The little radar dish on the back is what they call an antomantic pervase, I believe it is. Forge World haven't actually released the part for this yet. They have teased it at a Horus Heresy weekend, or I think it was last year, but it's never actually been released. I don't actually like the look of it from what I've seen. It looks like a big sort of radar dish, like you'd get on. I think it was I'm trying to think of the aeroplane. It's is it the Nimrod? Might be the other one. But yeah, it's like a big sort of round radar dish on the back. So I just went into my bits box and I found this, and it just so happened to be pretty much the perfect size. So I've slotted that in. What that does is that gives every unit within 6 inches of it a 5-up invulnerable save. So I'm planning on sort of, you know, moving into the sort of centre of the board with this guy and giving that good bubble of invulnerable saves. It'll also help the ironclads to get up the field, because that's one of the things which they can suffer from. Yes, they're toughness 8 and they've got a 3-up save, but there's no invuln on those, whereas all the other dreadnoughts do. So it will just give them a little bit of extra protection and hopefully help them to get into melee where they want to be. I then have heavy support choice in the battalion, which is the Land Raider, which is, you know, completely stock, heavy bolters, las cannons, no upgrades there. Again, Land Raiders took quite a big points drop. I think it was about 60 points. Some people don't like Land Raiders and still think they're trash. I've always found them quite reliable. That's 4 las cannon shots, hitting on 3s, and 6 heavy bolter shots. They can protect your troops. It's toughness 8 with a 2-up save. If I have it close to the Derridio, it's having a 5-up invulnerable save. So, you know, I think it's pretty survivable there. So again, it could scare a few opponents that haven't got quite as much anti-tank as they would have liked. And the last selection in the battalion is the Razorback that you see on the right hand side, and again that's completely stock with the heavy bolters. So moving on to the Spearhead, so this just gives me the 1 extra CP, so I'm up to 9 CP with this force. Leading this is the Tech Marine. This is an index version because he's got the conversion beamer. Again, yes, I know Tech Marines are absolutely trash. They're not competitive at all, but in this list it will help out. because he can repair the wounds of all the Dreadnoughts and the vehicles, so he'll be sort of plodding along with those guys. And also he has the conversion beamer, which isn't really to be sniffed at. It is quite a decent sort of middle power weapon. Again, off the top of my head, I think it's about strength 6 -1, a D3 shots or something like that. So you know, it can do a little bit of work to some sort of light to medium infantry. Nice little heavy weapon just to stick on him. And he hits on 2s, so he's hitting on 3s if he's moving, so still pretty reliable firepower there. Then the first of my heavy supports is on the left hand side of the screen, which is the Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought. This isn't a relic, so this helps with some of the other relics I've got in here, and that's kitted out with 2 Keris assault cannons, which are sort of a 24-inch range. They're high rate of fire and fairly decent strength, and if you stay still, you can actually shoot flyers quite reliably as well. So, yeah, quite useful with that. Then, rounding out the Spearhead, I've got 2 separate selections of rapier carriers, and they've got the quad mortars. Reasoning behind this is in the ITC format that we're playing, even if you can see through the ground level of a ruin, it is still line of sight blocking in this tournament, so it'll be quite easy to have some little unit standing at the back of the board, which I won't be able to see. Most of mine relies on direct line of sight. So these 2 quad mortars will help me dig out some of those entrenched units sitting at the back of the board. So that was the reasoning behind those. And then to round out the force, I've gone for the Leviathan. Yes, I would have liked it with 2 storm cannons rather than the Grav Flux Bombard, but I haven't got 2 storm cannons at the moment, so I've had to use what I could get. It was a toss-up between that and the sort of siege drill, but I decided to go with the extra shooty. Leviathans are weird. Basically, they come with 4 attacks, but if you take melee weapons off them, they lose attacks, which means that if he's got 1 melee weapon, he's only got 3 attacks, which isn't that scary on a big, scary robot like that. So I think they're actually better at shooting than punching at the moment. So Grav Flux Bombard's quite good. It's good against hordes because you get to roll extra D3 shots per 5 models, and it's also good against Titanic units. I think you get to re-roll wounds. He hits on 2s, so 3s when he's moving. So again, reliable firepower with quite a high fire rate, and that actually comes to 2,000 points on the nose. And as I said, the 9 command points. The Warlord has taken a relic. The armor Indominus, it's, you know, I think most relics for Space Marines are pretty average. This one will just give him a little bit more survivability. It takes him to a 2-up save, and then once in the game he can increase that his invulnerable save to a 3-up. So when I really need him to tank some shots, he'll be able to do that. So yeah, that's my force. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Where do you think I'll come in the in the 100 players? If I get into the top 50, I'll be over the moon. I think I'll be in the lower end though, looking at some of the lists that there are out there. I know what my first round draw is as well, because they announced it on the Honest Wargamer earlier in the week. So I'm actually against a Custodes force, which I thought, okay, yeah, that's not bad. Custodes do actually struggle a little bit when it comes down to high toughness in some respects. However, it has got, I think it's 16 jet bikes in the list, including the 2 shield captains on jet bikes. And I think 4 or 5 of them have actually got the is it the salvo launchers, which act like melter guns, so he can pretty much cream through everything I've got. So I'm expecting a bit of a loss in the first game, to be honest with you. But you never know, you know, it's how the dice go on the day, and how competent my opponent is as well. I don't know who he is. I know he's called Robin too, and that's about it. But I don't believe I've met him or played against him before. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it gets on. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. If you're not already a subscriber, remember to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And we will see you in the next one, which will be the tournament review video.